hardcore. Welcome back to the Oblivious Maximus podcast. I'm in a different chair. It's weird. I don't know how Ben sits here. I feel like I'm side saddling a conversation now. I'm going to look at this way more because it's closer to me. I'm Aaron Osborne, one of your hosts. And this week, finally, after weeks of talking about it to myself and to the internet, my co-host, Otis.
I'm here, baby. I'm back. I'm back. I'm keeping my job, even though I rocked up late, a couple episodes maybe, but I'm here. Sorry.
Hey, thank you for being here. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me back again.
My absolute pleasure. And joining us for this debut episode of the Aaron Osborne, Otis T. Benny podcast is one of the goats, one of Otis's goats.
Straight up. Bah.
Akira.
My best friend, Akira. Melbourne
this
hardcore
isn't
legend.
Gonna be good, guys. I'm so sorry.
Akira brought so many photos with him.
I brought all my friends out for the podcast. We bring everyone up, okay?
Mainly Otis.
Yeah.
Mainly me, a couple other characters, these guys, Pablo's parents.
So before we dive in any further, talk to us about the pics.
Yeah.
So do you want to go around the room? How do you want to talk about these?
Well, okay, Aaron, I'm sure you probably know about the koala pic.
Yes, I do.
It's sort of like the customary thing you do when you're on tour in Australia.
Yep.
I feel like it's actually a little bit abusive towards the koalas who are drugged up.
I think it's come out quite confirmed that it's like very bad for them.
Yeah.
Right. So this was way back.
Yeah.
That has not stopped anyone from continuing to do this, by the way.
Let's be real though. Like bands come here and the one thing they want to do, apart from play the show, is
get
a
pic.
photo with the koala.
100%.
And we have to take them every time.
Or in the case of some bands we've toured with, they want to find roadkill, such as koalas and kangaroos, and stuff it in a suitcase and bring it in the van with them.
Oh, we love that too.
Yeah.
The photos, yeah. Well, I mean, as any good hardcore kid would, I love collecting things. And that includes photos of my friends and whatever little bits of memorabilia from tour. So every time we go up to Queensland, we try and do something like this, especially if it's with an American band.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, when you do the photos, the collection area is just like in the food court cafeteria.
Yes.
And it's just like up on a shelf.
Yeah.
So you can actually grab like whatever photo you want.
Yeah. It's free game in there.
Yeah.
You just got to get there first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Akira's going to take
Yes.
it.
He's coming for your pics.
Yeah.
I've got everyone's photo.
Yeah. You travel all that way from overseas to visit Australia and your koala photo gets taken by Akira.
Yeah, that's right. It sits on my shelf with just piles and piles and piles of other shit. Oh, are we allowed to swear on this?
Absolutely, brother.
Fucking
I think,
hell yeah.
I think in the first episode me and Solo did, we had talked beforehand about like, if you don't swear in the first like 10 minutes, you can monetize it on YouTube. And then in like the first episode, I was like, this fucking thing, this cunt.
Yeah.
So I've done it again now. Yeah. So no,
we might have
no
to
money
beep
on
all
this one.
Yeah.
No way.
Nah.
I can't be stopping swearing. I'm never going to make money off this.
Yeah.
I'm just here for the free water.
Yeah. Shout out Liquid Death, our sponsor for today.
Liquid Death.
And Audio Technica headphones.
These are the comfiest headphones I've ever worn.
Straight up, we love free stuff. So
straight up.
Anyone else got stuff? I'll talk about it. I'm a corporate shill.
Yeah, drop the email, it's in the below.
I don't know. Actually, what is our email? obliviousmaximuspodcast@gmail.com. Also, a thing that we talked about before that we are going to plug. I cannot for the life of me remember the link. So I should have done my homework literally 3 seconds before we started talking. But we're going to do a voicemail thing. I'll talk about that more later. Anyway.
Send in your best pig squeal.
All right, quick pig squeal around the room.
Oh, that was shit.
Hold on.
Yeah, a bit of Liquid Death. Boy water will help you get it. Oh man.
Holy
shit.
That was good. Were you a deathcore kid?
No. No, but I do like the sound. Yeah, I know. Sure seems like it. All right, let's go, Aaron.
Okay.
God
that was pretty.
damn.
Yeah, I'm into
that
death
pig is
metal, man.
squealing.
Anyway, okay, this is going great so far.
I'm going to shout out Engage for the water bottle. I paid
nice.
for it. I supported, but it's just epic.
Shout out Engage.
How were they when they were here?
So good. This
Perth
was like
locals?
Yeah. Some good friends of ours. They were here like a week or two ago now. Just awesome. It was so sick to see them. Haven't seen those guys in ages, and they got to play an all ages show in Melbourne.
Yeah, true.
Which was sick, as well as the 18 plus.
Yeah. I can't say the show I'm playing yet because it hasn't been announced, but James from Engage is playing guitar for Aglo.
Oh,
Cool. He's a fucking riff lord.
He truly is. So
that would be crazy.
thanks to him when he does that. I did send him the instructional videos, which are just me playing the songs. And as I've had to alert everyone who's learnt them, there are lots of mistakes. So I'll have to show you again in real life. But
I'm sure he's got it.
I will not be re-recording those videos. It was hard enough the first time. All right. So you've collected photos from all around Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary. But the predominant reason why I got you two in here together is because you are truly lifelong best friends.
Since day one, baby.
Yeah.
What age? How young were you when you met one another?
I reckon we met, I would have been 3 years old or something like that. That would make Akira 6.
Yeah, maybe 5 or 6.
You know,
depending.
some people think we're the same age, but
Yeah.
I'm a couple years younger.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Do you want me to go? Or do you
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to go?
you're the guest. Go ahead.
You're older. You could.
You're older.
Yeah,
You should know,
I can
even though I'm
remember
probably
better.
I'll fill in the gaps.
Oh yeah, I don't remember much shit, by the way. So
I'm always saying like, oh, you remember that? And you're just like, no.
yeah,
And
I could be
sweet.
literally the worst podcast.
It's like
guest.
that's a core memory of my life, and
Yeah. Yeah. So all right. So Otis and I are from Melbourne,
Yes.
and like actually from Melbourne.
Firmly Melbourne.
Yeah.
Central?
some say the only people
Yeah.
in Melbourne.
Yeah.
City.
So I went to school in Melbourne,
Yep.
and
But when you say Melbourne, burbs or like
No, we're city.
like Carlton,
Yeah, true,
city,
okay.
yeah, like north.
which truly is like odd, I would say.
It's rare. At least
to meet
maybe
people.
in hardcore.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people at shows might be from like interstate or at least a little bit out, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
fine.
The burbs, yeah.
But yeah, so we both went to the same school basically. So I started school. His brother was the year below me, and we had like a prep in year 1 class. So
Yeah.
we met there. I'm sure Otis won't mind me saying, but I feel both of our parents are pretty pretty rogue and loose.
Yeah.
So they got on well. It was just one of those things like after school.
Family friends, but probably from our brothers kicking it in
Yeah.
Yeah.
primary school or whatever.
So it was like me, Otis's brother, my brother, the year below, and then Otis.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like a ladder.
So his brother is a year older than me. Then my brother's a year older than him. Then Akira's a year older than my brother.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
and-
obviously that makes us best friends.
So, but then how we actually became like, so I would always go to his house, and like Akira and his brother were the guys that had the cool shit.
Sure.
Like they were in on all the cool gaming stuff or whatever. So me and my brother would go there, and we'll be playing like Nintendo 64, like, and like Akira's dad. A lot of people know Akira's dad. It's just a thing. He's around. And Akira's dad would come in with like a tray of like, oh shit, sorry guys. sorry family from Lone Pine. Like a tray of like biscuits and all this shit, and it would be so hype. But and then we just would, hang out, play Nintendo. But later on, we sort of like re-met through music, I
Okay.
guess, and through heavy music.
So was there a time apart?
Wow.
Like, yeah, but like because like I'm in primary school, and then if he's 3 years older than me, he's
Sure.
in high school. It's like,
Yeah.
he's not hanging out with someone.
With the child.
Yeah. But-
I do remember like, because we also went to the same high school.
Okay.
I do remember like like bumping into you around.
Oh, we hung out in high school when I went into, because actually you won't remember this, but I remember it. I remember when I was in primary. So like for me, I've always been into music, but and like heavy music. Yeah. So like my first show was like Machine Head and
true.
Back, oh my God, Jesus Christ. Liquid Death is doing the job.
This guy is brutal.
Yeah, wow.
He's pig squeal and he's burping.
Yeah. So I've always sort of, obviously been into that sort of music.
Sure.
And just music in general anyway, but I really liked like metal when I was in primary school to the point where you're kind of like, why is this kid in grade 1 like love Pantera and shit like that?
That's
like,
amazing though. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, well, I found out about that music, like heavy music. Like I obviously, you start with like something like AC/DC or something like that, and then you go, okay, what else is there? And then I remember there was another kid in my year who had an older brother who was into like metal and stuff like that. And I remember going to his house and like finding like I knew about Hatebreed when I was in primary school, but I just thought that's a metal band.
Yeah,
like, it is a hardcore metal band, but like I didn't know what it was. But like I remember like hearing like destroy everything, and being like, "Fuck, what is this shit?" Like, and then listening to some faster or like Doomsayer or whatever. I remember hearing that riff and going, "That's like heavy."
Which is basically Slayer.
Yeah. And like I was into that, but I guess so was Akira. But Akira was kind of more into. I think when we met, he was into the more like hardcore and like even the metalcore stuff, and then I also knew about that as well, and we sort of connected over that.
Yeah.
Again, but. Yeah. So then when I went into high school, I had my OG there,
Yeah, sure. But the other thing too that's really funny now is like as adults, obviously, is that like, to quote a famous R&B hip hop group, Pretty Ricky, age ain't nothing but a number, baby.
Yes.
For all my disgusting rap fans, that's one for you. But the reality is that like as soon as you become an adult, it doesn't matter how old people are. You can have friends, whatever age you want. But in high school, that age bracket, 1 year or 2 years can be like, a lifetime. Like I know this too because I had a sister. I have a sister that's 2 years younger than me, and I couldn't think of anything worse when I was in year 9 and she started year 7. They'd be like, "Oh, my fucking sister's here now." Like,
yeah. I don't know why Akira was able to be cool with me knowing that. I get probably because we were the only people that were into that shit. Like at our school.
Yeah.
Well, not only people.
Just also I'd known you for so long.
Yeah.
And you got swag.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I don't know if I had swag back then, but like, I knew some things. But
swag.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But so in that, what was like, so when I was a kid in Canberra, I had a similar thing where we had like, I had 5 friends, like 5 best mates in high school because we were the 5 guys at my school that listened to metal. And that was like, I still am in communication with some of those guys on Facebook or whatever, but like that fell off after school because like a lot of things, like those guys all stopped going to shows and got real jobs and families and whatever. But like to keep going and to keep hanging is where I think it defines whether you actually like something. And like, I think the defining trait for me now is that like, well, if I was going to get over this, I'd be over it by now. Like I'm firmly an adult and I'm still obsessed with I hate God.
Yeah.
and like, like that's never going to go away for me. But so for you guys, did like that high school period become like solidifying the relationship, or was it after, do you think? Was it the music stuff?
No, I think it...
I don't know.
I reckon it was towards the end. You know what? I think we like really bonded over fucking playing video games.
Yeah, that as well.
Okay.
Like video games and then music and I don't know, just being like, we're both pretty silly. So
yeah,
I feel like...
But I think that's why I got on well with you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like honestly, like I think not that it's anything that matters, but like there was a period in my life where it was very difficult for me to become friends with straight edge people because they very much didn't like that I drank, which is fine. You're allowed to not like that. But I like to think that I am like very firmly not a fuckhead and also not a fuckhead when I drink. I'm pretty nice when I drink.
Yeah.
And I think
You're a good guy.
if anything, I'm just a silly guy.
Yeah. I think you like gravitate to like silly people. And you like.
And so I think when I met you guys, that was how I felt about you guys too. I was like, these guys rock. These guys are just silly guys.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck about anything.
Hey, I'm serious.
Yeah.
This man pig squealed in the first 2 minutes.
As you can see.
But so when did hardcore become a thing? I know you brought some
For me?
Yeah. You brought some stuff with you to prove your credentials.
Yeah.
Your resume, if you will.
Yeah. God, let's see. I mean, like, I'd say probably around the time I was in year 8 or something like that. So maybe when I was like 14, turning 15 is when I was really like had my eyes open to the world of hardcore. And it was a similar sort of experience with Otis where like I was into sort of your more like, definitely not at that point, like not Hatebreed or anything like that, but just alternative music and stuff like that since, you know, primary school. My uncle showed me Dookie by Green Day, loved it. I think I just always sort of, as a kid, was actually quite a serious kid, I'd say, and like very much like scared of breaking the rules or quite shy, timid, that sort of a personality. And I think kind of like leaning into that sort of music was my way of being like, oh, cool, I can like be a bit different in a way that, you know, I can express myself in a way that seems cool. So I like grade 5, 6, Green Day, My Chemical Romance, shit like this. And then from there, just being like, cool, like I think I must have heard a breakdown and just be like, cool, what the fuck's this? Like, how do I find more of this? And yeah, so in year 8, I went and saw Escape the Fate with Behind
this
Crimson
is another
Eyes.
thing. We both loved Escape the Fate and still do.
Yeah, that first album, I could sing the entire thing.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so that was like technically my first show. Escape the Fate, Behind Crimson Eyes at I think it was like the Hi-Fi bar in the city.
Okay.
And I bought some merch there and I was wearing it to school. And there was this kid at our school in my year level who somehow is like the most OG hardcore kid I'll ever know.
Yeah.
And by year 8, he's so OG that he'd already dropped out.
He'd done the full life cycle of a hardcore.
Yeah. He'd already dropped out, bro. And he sees me in this Escape the Fate show. And he's like, okay, man. You're almost there, but like, let me show you some more music.
Yeah.
So he like burnt a bunch of CDs for me. It was him and at that point, you actually know Liam as well. So him and Liam were friends through skating and also that music. Liam also just being incredibly OG and like so quick to liking shit that is cool like 10 years later somehow.
Yeah.
He's just on the ball. So he already knew about hardcore and those guys really took me in and started taking me to shows and were like showing me like, I remember one particular CD had like Jaws on it, for example, which like I just would never have heard otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was really it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when did you start going to like local stuff?
Yeah. So I was trying to think about this. I thought this might pop up. And the first sort of like local show I can think of going to would have been, I don't even know if you can define it as that local, but it was the Red Shore.
Okay.
Playing with Antagonist.
Yeah. I mean, that's local.
Yeah. At the Evelyn Hotel in Brunswick.
Yeah.
And it was originally scheduled to be on like, it's like the 9th of Feb. Yeah. And it turned out that day was Black Saturday.
Oh, brutal.
So I remember my mum dropped us off at the show.
Yeah.
It was fucking boiling hot.
Yeah.
And we're all, like I was kind of nervous and we're all just in the Evelyn Hotel sweating. for like half an hour, and this show just never started.
Oh, really?
So they rescheduled it for the next month, and that was my first proper, I guess, hardcore show.
Would that
you could
happen
say.
now? Like a show getting cancelled due to the heat?
It was like 43
It's like,
degrees.
was like no aircon back then, or no?
I don't know.
When was the last time that's something like that would happen at like?
I don't know. Not at like an inside venue. I mean, it's crazy to think that.
Yeah.
But the
Maybe the
Evelyn-
band was just like,
It was
"Fuck
hot."
this."
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
But there probably was like I would assume there would have been like an emergency warning. Like you shouldn't be outside.
and maybe the news had already begun to spread
Right.
about
Yeah.
what was
Fair
happening.
enough.
But one of us needed to shit really badly, and so when we were like, oh fuck, the show's cancelled, it was kind of like a relief.
I gotta go.
And probably back then you're not wanting to go into the toilet at
No.
the Evelyn when you're in.
Well,
high
this is
school.
back in the day. Now it's back again, I guess, but where all ages shows happen.
Yeah,
So that was an
yeah.
all ages show.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy to think as well. Like I think I went to or played a show. It must have just been went to a show at the Evelyn. Like when I think I first moved here. So when I was like 21 or something, and then absolutely nothing there for like 10 years at least. And then it seems in the last like 3 years, now there's shows there again. And now I've played like 4 shows there and it rocks. And like I'm all in on that venue. Sometimes it sounds like shit, but I'll give it a pass on that. But like it's crazy to think that that was a place like, and I remember talking, I can't remember what show it was, one of the Aglo ones that we played there. And I put the poster up and 2 of the guys from I Exist and stuff were in Hard Luck and they were like, oh man, Hard Luck used to play there all the time, like a million years ago. Yeah. And I was like, well, it's back, baby. The Evelyn.
It's
Evelyn
a
is back.
great location.
It's perfect.
one.
Yeah.
Hey, that's like local.
That's
you know, like
Melbourne.
when they would do shows at Fitzroy Bowls Club.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
That's
Just down the road.
I played a
down the
show there once. I think. Yeah, no, I did. I think I played one of those Cruel Hand shows there.
yeah.
Ah.
I remember I was meant to go to one of them, but for some reason I didn't. I think Liam like ended up not wanting something.
Was
like
that was that the place that Iron Mine played at and someone
That was the
broke
record
roof?
release. Yeah.
And the venue,
Yeah.
the Bowls Club were mad about it.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
probably wasn't another show after that.
Yeah. Well, I went to that one. There were a bunch of like local, very hyper local, like pop punk bands that would play
Sure.
there as well. Like, I don't know if you would know any of these people. Well, you might actually, but like First Base or Strickland and bands like this from Melbourne would play there all the time as well.
I know, like, now that I'm thinking about it, Outright played there with Cruel Hand.
Yeah.
I think I was playing guitar for him at the time, maybe, or maybe it was old enough that I was playing drums, but I definitely played there. But I firmly remember being like, this rocks, because I brought basically nothing so I could get home really easy, which was great. I think J-Hat was like tour managing loosely Cruel Hand. So I was just like, great, my friend will just drive me home after. And when I got there, it was like, I think like a footy presentation night had just ended. So there was like a real, like a bunch of old boys were real drunk, like cleaning up glasses and stuff. And they were like, yeah, right, bring your little band on in. And then I don't think they were prepared for the fact that there was like 200 people there then, and like a band from America.
Crazy.
Like,
yeah, it was probably like Fitzroy Football Club. Like,
to ensue.
yeah.
But I just remember that show being like very funny seeing them. And there was truly just like old boys at the bar, like sort of headbanging along to like, like quite a, at the time, like I think that was when that Prying Eyes record came out too.
Yeah,
so it was
yeah.
kind of like the Cruel Hands moment.
yeah.
You know?
yeah, like they were the biggest band.
Yeah. Yeah. At that minute.
Yeah.
So you brought a bag full of trinkets.
I did. Well, not, yeah.
Well, you did, in that there are, a lot of them are on display right
I
now,
brought some trinkets.
which is good because we have been talking at length about people bringing trinkets, and it's something that I never follow up with, so no one remembers to do it. But you brought a zine with you.
Yeah, yes.
We got to see this zine.
I'll grab it.
This is great for the audio listener.
Yeah.
Kira's grabbing something out of his bag. For the visual
Oh,
listener,
don't get that out,
The
man.
audio listener.
Keep that one back in there.
So I guess this links in with what we were just talking
Yeah.
about. Essentially, I just kept going to shows slowly over the years. And it got to the point where I was truly just obsessed with hardcore.
Yeah.
So I did a zine with Liam, who was also at my school with Otis, and someone we had met at shows called Sam Ledley. And this was sort of like my first time actually like contributing back to hardcore,
Sure.
rather than just going to shows, and like my first time kind of engaging with some of these people in bands.
Yeah.
So we called it Hardcore Extravaganza,
Yep.
issue 1. I only ever did one.
Twitching tongues.
Yeah. So yes.
Right on the top.
So at
My
this
boys.
time, this would have been 2011, I think.
Yep.
Twitching Tongues was probably my favorite band ever.
True.
We had Twitching Tongues, Relentless, Warbrain, Thorns,
And
and Power Trip right at the bottom.
Oh, man.
new young band.
Yeah,
Power
up and
Trip.
coming.
That's right. When I read this back, I was like, oh, fuck, this is so cringe. But it's also kind of awesome because of how cringe it is.
Is it interviews?
There's interviews of all of these bands, and we like put ads in it. And shit.
What are the ads?
Purgatory Records featuring bands such as Breaking Point, Brutality Will Prevail, More Than Life.
Oh,
yada, yada.
look at you go.
We had like a whole manifesto at the start about hardcore extravaganza.
Yeah, read it out.
I'm glad you're just revealing yourself here on the
Well,
pod.
we sold these, so
people got 'em.
If it's
It's
not
pretty
me,
awesome.
someone's gonna leak it.
Yeah.
His first thing, like, into hardcore zine is he's interviewing Power Trip. Like,
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool.
it's great. And Twitching Tongues.
Too many people these days take from hardcore and don't give back. They also complain too much on the internet, but don't take any action. We want to give back to hardcore because it has already given so much to us. Hardcore isn't just a fad. It's here to stay. Get fucked, trend hoppers.
It's assertive.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And guess what? That's still true, brother.
Yeah, get fucked.
Get fucked, man.
Yeah.
Hardcore
pretty
don't
funny.
know you a shit.
So yeah, that's hardcore extravaganza.
That's hardcore extravaganza.
Maybe I should repress
Issue
it.
1?
Issue 1, yeah. There was never really an issue 2. I did like some online interviews after.
How many did you make?
50.
Also, the Simpsons font.
So yeah. Simpsons font on the front, and then
Big one.
penis font on the back.
No, the two big ones.
We it's so fucking dumb. Like we asked Dennis from Relentless, now Speed, what is your deadlift personal record? And
I mean, he's probably still thinking about that.
yeah, he's still going. But yeah, this was really my like introduction or gateway into talking to people and contributing to hardcore. And like from there, I did a band with Liam and Sam, and it's all been uphill from there.
Hey, you got to start somewhere. And what better way than a zine with penis font on the back?
100%.
That rocks.
I think you entered it, you showed who you were. It's a bit of fun,
Yeah.
Penis font, Simpsons font.
I mean, I think, so I would say, again, if we loop back to the Silly Guys vibe. So I think I've tried to make like a little bit of a, actually, okay. So I would say this is why some people have thought it very odd that myself and Twitching Tongues in particular, those guys have got on so well. And I would say that's another great example of like, you don't have to be into this or that or the other to be like, find your people. And those guys are my people because of stuff like just being dumb as hell and like tongue in cheek bullshit, like all that stuff. Like again, the big thing for me at the time with, when playing in a band that was, had a little bit of hype around it or whatever. And at the time, I think like part of the success that I Exist got, the very limited success very loosely, but was because like we were just like mucking around the whole time. And I think a lot of people liked that we were mucking around the whole time because everything else was like so serious and could not be more like focused on itself and worried about itself and how it looked. And we were like, we just have to make fun of everything the whole time. And then, sometimes that didn't play to our advantage. But, most of the time it did. And it worked out great for it.
I feel like that's what like Broken was. Like you know. Tell us about Broken.
Okay. Well, it was a band.
We're skipping a couple bands, but we'll go to Broken.
Yeah. Aaron, I was just about to say what you just said then is exactly what I love about hardcore, I think, is that you can have that flexibility to be an idiot or just be yourself and have fun with it.
Well, and I think the good thing, sorry to interrupt, I think the good thing with it though is that like there's an acceptance for fucking around.
Yes.
And there's an acceptance for being like, I love this thing and I take this thing very seriously, but I'm allowed to be silly with it.
Yeah. I'd agree. And I think Broken was kind of a little bit that. It was also a little bit of sort of like doing a band with the intention of just like having fun with it full stop. And so like I would see or hear stories from all the people that I've interviewed and then had become friends with around all of their crazy tour stories and all of the crazy shit that happens at shows. And you hear about all of this epic, legendary shit that's happened in the past and you go, fuck, like, why wouldn't I want to do that as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
So very much like when... I think I try and bring a bit of that to every band I'm involved in. But I think because I was the singer in Broken, I kind of...
you could run with it.
Yeah, exactly right. I had the mic.
It was you.
Yeah, I had the mic.
Really.
I think it was just like how, like, at times on stage we're saying shit like, how silly can I really be? And like, how much will the crowd go along with me just saying yo 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 into a mic and replacing lyrics with yo or whatever, and just having fun with it.
Yeah. So what bands did you do pre-Broken?
Do you want just the full list of bands?
Let's just go. Hit me with the resume.
So there was a band that I did with Liam and Sam Ledley. That was what I was doing in high school.
Yeah.
Which I'm just thinking if it should be named or not. I mean, someone will comment it anyway, probably Faffy.
Yeah.
Called Torment.
Okay.
And we played like a couple of shows. Like we played it next with Outsiders Code, or we played the Outsiders Code launch, and the poster for that's in the kitchen because Mum was so stoked on it. This is a picture of Boehner in my kitchen.
My mum has the first I Exist album release poster, like A3 poster, still like 4 magnets on the fridge. And like I've done so much more stuff than that. But like she got that one first LP poster and she's like, that's on the fridge. Yeah. And then it's so like crusty and haggard now because it's just anyway.
It's always the first band or whatever. It's like, are you still playing with like whatever insert first band you ever did? Like actually, first band I ever did that wasn't really a band, but me and my friends made up, just to call back, in primary school, our metal band that probably I wrote like one riff and we had a song or whatever. Yeah. Samaritans from Hell. Oh. Pretty hard.
Pretty hard.
So that was my
Samaritans
first band.
is such a hectic word. I don't think I've ever said Samaritans.
Yeah.
You learned that word as a kid and you're like, that's a fucking band name right there.
We've got something, guys. We're going big.
We got to use this.
Yeah, we're opening for Trivium next time. Whatever it is.
All right. So you played the Outsiders Code launch.
Yeah. And then that band sort of fell up. Oh, fuck. I just remembered. See, I forget shit, but I've just remembered something.
This is good.
This is crazy. That band like exists online and like, you shouldn't go and find it because it's literally like pretty fucked up, but it's also pretty funny.
It's like a dive bomb every second.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, we just recorded something the other week and I did something quite similar.
Yeah.
How funny. Anyway. Oh fuck, this is insane. So, okay. We were going to shows, we were doing the thing, we were thinking about starting the band.
Yeah.
Somehow I bump into Nathan Garland and meet him. And it turned out that Nathan lived behind my house, like a block away, less than.
Yeah, right.
And so I was like, oh, my dad's dropping me home after this show. Do you want to lift as well? And he rolled with us home. And the band, like this idea that we're going to do this band popped up. He was like, oh, maybe I could sing. I think Ill Vision was like either slowing down or he just wanted to do something else as well. That's weird of Nathan.
Yeah.
So
Loves
he was
the
originally
band.
going to sing and he came to a
loves
jam. Oh, he loves doing bands. Anyway, but it didn't end up working out, essentially. He had to go and probably realized that it was going to be a bit of a riff salad or just a bit not the go. But then that led to him asking me to start a band with him a couple months later after Torment had finished.
Yeah, right.
And that was the birth of Born Free.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. So from there, we just did Born Free for ages.
Yeah.
Broken started about 3 years in.
Yeah.
Where Nathan was kind of just, again, Nathan started that band. And
Yeah.
he was like, you should sing in a band, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
sick.
yeah, I think that would be fun. So he wrote the demo and we did that.
Yeah.
What other bands? Somewhere in between Broken and Born Free, I filled in for Iron Mind on their like second LP release tour on bass. And basically ever since that tour, I've been playing for them. And only more recently have I been in have they taken photos for me to be in. So I'm officially in the band now that there's a photo of it.
And you're still playing, like, you guys are going to be doing more stuff though now. Ish. I mean, you don't have to blow anything.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, yes. I think if
what
you're
can you
into
say,
hardcore,
man?
I mean, I'm sure.
Because the band's kind of playing again as well.
Well, 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Like we did that tour with No Warning quite
Yeah.
recently. We wrote and recorded and released some songs.
Yeah.
And I think everyone in Iron Mind is really enjoying hardcore right now.
Yeah. And you're playing guitar now.
I'm
too,
playing
right?
guitar in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, like a podcast exclusive will be that Iron Mind is at the least thinking about being more active.
Yeah.
It's an announcement.
Keep an eye
Iron
on it.
Mind. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whether it's shows, music,
Yeah.
just whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, that happened. I've done a fair few bands now I think about it.
Yeah.
I currently play in a band called Resenter, which is sort of like more alt shoegazy.
Yeah.
I do one called The Ox currently, which
Yep.
is with our friend Sebastian from Regulate.
Mm-hmm.
So a bit of an international special, fun band. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Otis. Oh, everyone thinks I'm in AWOL. I'm not in AWOL. Listeners of the podcast, I'm not in AWOL.
I'm in AWOL, not this.
Otis is
when
in
they when they posted the album, I would reshare it, and I would like reshare specifically photos of the 5 of them, and people would still reply to my stories going, "Dude, congrats on this album, man! Like, so stoked for
But
you."
you sang on a song, right?
I sang on a song, but like,
He's kind of in it. He's in it. He's in it like me, as much as me being in Born Free and Broken.
yeah,
As in like, yeah, if I drop dead one day, this guy.
You're one of the lads.
He's getting on.
I mean,
Yeah.
Phantoms put up a promo photo the other day and had me in it. And I was like, I mean, I played every instrument.
I guess I'm in
fucking band.
Phantoms. Yeah.
I'm the only person in Phantoms who's played every instrument in Phantoms. So
That's crazy.
rest of them ain't shit.
You're gonna have to sing
edge.
a set.
I have.
Oh,
I've done everything.
true.
They can't kick me out of that band.
You are the band.
I'm Sydney hardcore.
Yeah.
You know?
Wait, so
Speed talk about it, but
speak talk about, it, but
I've been doing it.
the only one mode is Aaron Osborne.
yeah.
Imagine. Fucking hell.
There's a crazy mode.
Brutal mode.
Crazy mode.
So aside from all of the aforementioned bands, also, you know, hard zines, and being Otis's long-term best friend.
Yes.
What's your view on the current situation in hardcore right now?
Current situation in hardcore. Let it rip. Okay. I do have a lot of.
We've been. I only ask because I would say you are more contemporary than I am to what is happening right now.
Yeah. You've just opened a can of worms, and you risk turning this podcast into an episode of listening to what me and Otis talk about in the car every night when we drive home from practice or a show.
That's why I got him on the pod. I was like, I got to get your best friend in here to talk to me about what you guys talk about in
We're
the car.
clickbait. We're clickbait. Oh, fuck. What are they going to say this time?
I don't know, Otis. What do you want to start? We
what was
literally
being
talk about this all the time.
What was being posted about today?
Okay. Did you see what was being posted about today?
No.
Today is the 20-something of August 2024.
Yep.
And today on Instagram reshares was a post saying like, where were you during the great hardcore depression of 2016 to 2020?
Sure.
And I didn't post it because that's weird, but I do have some thoughts about it.
Great.
And I don't want to sound like, okay, I'm going to look directly into the listener's eyes. I don't want to come across as salty when I say any of this. I kind of just want to convey that I really care about hardcore in Australia and just worldwide. And I say all of this with that as the context.
Yeah.
But hardcore never fucking died, man. It didn't die.
My response to that to one Nathan Garland was in the trenches, brother.
Exactly right.
In the trenches.
I was doing it.
It never died.
Yeah.
You just stopped fucking paying attention or you hadn't found out about it yet, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But don't then come in 2024 and say that for this period where like so many bands and so many people were active and hectic shows were happening still.
Yeah.
That hardcore was just dead. It's such like a defeatist and also blanket statement. So I not salty,
Not salty,
but very passionate about it.
I'm salty, brother. Fuck that, man. Come on.
I remember,
Otis is happy to be salty.
Yeah, man. I'm salty for you, man.
fine, you can be salty for me.
Nah, that's chill.
In the car, usually it's the other way. I feel like I get salty, it's just like, oh, please,
It's all right, man. Like I just played 170 Russell. We filled in for Terror.
made it, brother.
We filled in for Terror. They didn't even post we were playing. Like we made it.
Yeah.
I think I caused a bit of controversy with that, by the way.
Oh, really? Why?
Because I think Jake said that before anyone had posted about it.
Yeah.
And then I think that is what spurred people being like, I think Terra even posted like, hey, we are still touring Australia. And I don't think that like Terra were listening to the podcast, but I think like it got around that like, anyway, whatever. So,
Well, I honestly had a dream.
sorry, Kubla Khan tour promo.
Yeah. Well, it was an awesome show, but I had a dream the night before being like, because I'm like, man, these guys think they're getting Terror, but they're getting AWOL. Like, and then in my dream, like, we get on stage and I hit the first note and everyone's like, boo, like, this isn't Terror.
Play
like,
Lows on the Low, you fucking idiot.
I know. And I'm just like, turn up my amp and I'm like, fuck you all. Fuck you all. This is hardcore. Like, come on, man. Anyway, that was my dream. So,
But no, I agree with you. I agree with you. I was there. I was playing.
yeah. See,
I was putting
one
out-
thing we have in common as well.
yes.
I was putting
Aaron
out
was there.
records. I was touring.
straight up.
Sometimes there was 3 people there. I will say the only part that I don't not agree with, the part that I can convey maybe what some people mean by it is that like during that period there might not have been as many people around.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that happens every 4 years with music like this.
I think it's like they've just taken it, like they've taken it the wrong way, and it's almost now it's like the narrative, and it's like it's turned into something else, and these people are talking about it that have no idea about it, and it's kind of like, yo, brother, like what, like.
Well, I think the thing that we've talked about quite a lot on here, probably talked about with you when you were on here last time, is that like it's going through a moment right now, and it's like fucking huge.
Does that mean it's alive though?
No.
Or is it just still hardcore? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I think the thing is like, but more the point that I'm trying to make is that like it's had that in my lifetime of doing this like 5 times now. And what means the most to me with it is the people that keep doing it and keep sticking around with it. And, and I think I would say like maybe there's some at least I don't hear it, but I think there's probably something that would begrudge in some circumstances a band like Speed and say like, oh, you know, they're this big new thing now. But like, I mean, I'm sure people know this now, but or certainly people in Australia know it, but like those guys all been doing this stuff for my whole life.
100%.
You know?
They're more OG
like,
than anyone.
Yeah. And so like they have played probably by their own admission in terrible bands. They've played terrible shows. They played in good bands and they played good shows, and they've done the ups and downs of it all. And then just by coincidence or luck or talent or whatever, this one hit.
For sure. And they were all there when like, you know, like we like our bands would come up and they like Jem would be the only dude moshing and like trying to do shit. Like, you know, like Speed's first show was the Broken record release, and it's like it was, I don't know, it's just it's great. It's cool. Like,
well, they fucking smoked us then.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. It's like it was straight away being like, oh fuck, these guys might be reviving hardcore right now with this shit. Like,
well, I mean, I think like,
I guess there's just more people there to enjoy it, so that's why they're.
I mean, and I think, but I mean, like my earliest participation memory, I would say, of this was like when Parkway first got big. Was like, oh, I'd been going to these local shows and whatever, and it was fine, but it was like kind of small, and probably like it is now for most things. And then, you know, one time it was a metal festival and this band played, and it was like, man, these fucking surf cunts are like ripping up there. I don't know. They don't look the part. They're not the same hang, but they're like killing it up there. Then they put out a record and everyone loses their fucking mind. And then next time they came to Canberra, it was like, oh, the time before there was 40 people there. Now there's 500 people there. And they have literally done nothing different. Like they're doing the exact same thing. People are just caught onto it. And then they, through no, you know, like they weren't trying to do it, but they effectively just like started a fucking genre of music in Australia. They started their own, and like because of them, that's why I had an opportunity to put out records. Like the label that put out all my band's records was fucking paying for it from Parkway. Like it was not. I Exist Records were not paying for I Exist Records. Like,
that's right.
It's happening now. Like, and that's is so sick about it all. But but also like, you know.
Well, I was going to loop back into your question at the start there and basically touch on that and say like, you know, whatever you can say about the years 2015 onwards being dead or not, what is happening now is fucking awesome to see. And like, that's what I mean when I'm saying like I don't want to be salty about it, because it's like the more shows the better, and the more bands the better, and the more people involved the better, for sure.
But also we like some of my favorite show experiences were during that time, and like just like the vibe, there was a vibe there of like, I don't know, you knew everyone in that room was there all for the same reasons, whereas like, you know, and like there's something sick about that, because now it's kind of like, oh, and it's cool in a different way, but it's like I don't even know if these people like this stuff. And like that's awesome, but like it's you know, it was cool to rock up to a show and like you knew everyone was there for the same reason. And like,
I mean, and I think again that ties back to like the thing I mentioned earlier, that like the reality is if you were gonna get over this, you'd be out of it by now.
Straight up.
Like you're too grown up to bail, basically.
You got to be a bit silly to keep going back to shows when there's only like 20 other people there for 4 years.
The silly boys stayed.
100%.
The silly boys stayed on, and the adults left, and you know.
Well, but like I would say, like even a thing, you know, that again, it's like an old head thing to say or whatever. But the thing that I noticed with it the most is like when you did. I don't know if it was the AWOL record. No, it wasn't the AWOL record launch, but like that show that you guys did, the Bendigo. With Knuckle Dragger. Like I was just standing up the back, doing my lean on the bar, drink the pints, having a great old time. And, you know, like Nigel and Beltsy from Minds Now were just standing next to me. And I was like,
that's crazy.
These two motherfuckers been doing this since like before I was like anywhere near old enough to do this. And Beltsy lives in fucking Frankston. And he's like, I'm just driving up to the Bendigo to see like, you know, and that rocks. And more power to those guys for still fucking showing up and like they care about every band.
Dude, it's so awesome.
100%.
Especially like, you know, like there's been a lot of things with that, with doing AWOL, like older guys getting like actually seems like they are into it or want to check it out, you know, like go to Adelaide and Pete's there and like enjoying it, saying super nice stuff. It's like, it's cool because like, you know, like that, you know, that's all the stuff that you grew up like listening to, and it's cool that it, you know, it's like that thing of like, you know, you do a zine and then you become friends with the people in the zine, you do a band or whatever it is, like.
And like
that's hardcore, bro. Like
straight up. And to these guys' credit, like all of the people we've just mentioned, like Pete, everyone in Minds Now, have put on for Broken in the past. And then bands before that. So it's just,
Yeah, I mean, like the funniest thing to this day for me is that the first like big show I played in Melbourne was opening for Minds Now. Like Slow Burn, our stupid melodic hardcore band, played a Minds Now art house show, which to me is like the funniest thing in the world still, that like the first big thing we got, and just because Nigel's a nice guy. Like I'm sure he cared not one bit for Slow Burn.
Well,
but
no,
like,
he probably did though. That's the thing. He was probably on the fucking pulse with what bands were going around at the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm gonna give these kids a chance, and that's like what is so sick about hardcore.
Yeah. You always gotta give back to the young bands.
Yeah.
It's just like the blurb from the zine says.
Yeah.
Right under the Simpsons.
Yeah. And then the next page is dick font.
All right. Well, I think we've gotten really into the weeds with our thoughts on hardcore, which is good. But I want some final notes. We're coming to the sort of end of this conversation, which, to be honest with you boys,
That was so quick.
I could just keep talking for like 4 to 5 more hours. All right. This is one that I thought up in the car on the way here. 2-prong question. One for my co-host, Otis. One for my guest, Akira. I'll start with Akira first.
Okay.
What are you excited about right now? In life, in music, something that's getting you revved up.
Lots of things going on in my life that are somewhat exciting, and like lots of things that I've worked towards for a long time. My studies are ending soon.
Great.
Right now, the thing that's keeping me going is going to America.
Nice.
I'm going to go there and see some shows and potentially
Just say.
be involved in some shows. So it's going to be fucking awesome. That's like one of the things I've wanted to do forever since being into hardcore, is go overseas and play shows and tour internationally with my best friends.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm extremely excited that that's about to happen.
Great. And Otis, what about you, mate? I would have said you excited to replace Tara yesterday, but that's already happened.
Dude,
So.
yeah. I'm glad. Yeah, everyone knows about that now. So, it's another podcast exclusive. I enjoyed playing the show.
A podcast exclusive. Otis played. AWOL played in place of Tara yesterday.
Well, I guess the set like
Well, AWOL's going to America.
we're going to America. Just like Akira was saying, same thing for me. It's cool because I've never been to America.
Oh yeah, sick. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've never been, and I've always, in my mind, I'm like, it would be the coolest way for me, like going to America would be playing some shows and being with friends and stuff like that. And it's crazy that we can do that, and just like even the shows we're playing and stuff, we're playing with some sick bands like Twitching Tongues on the
Tongues.
from the hardcore extravaganza. And Ceremonies and Killing Time. We're playing Killing Time's crazy. What else am I excited about? Seeing Akira already use that one. Well, I'm excited that music. I love music, but we released an album, and now Speed has released an album, and their shows are about to come up, and I'm just excited to see how all that goes down here, and like it's all of that. Honestly, whatever they're doing, I feel like everyone seems to be excited about it, and I don't know how they're so good at making you care that much about it, because it's like I can't figure it out with our band, but you know, I wish I knew, but no, I should say I like, you know, yeah, that's all cool, and just doing music stuff, working on music stuff.
Listen,
music.
man, I'm just excited to hang out with Otis.
Yeah. In the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm most excited about.
Yeah.
And we just get these mics in front of them, and it's straight up gold.
We hang out so much, man.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
It's
That's
you
good.
know,
Yeah.
and
got to.
we've birthed the Silly Boys, the trio.
Yeah.
Look, I'm happy to
do you
be
want to
invited.
hang sometimes?
Yeah.
I'll hang all the fucking time.
Maybe Akira can drop you home, and like,
Yeah.
we can talk some shit.
Brother. Let's get in the car.
One time
Yeah,
we normally go to Macca's drive-through. How much time do we have left on this?
I mean, whatever. Doesn't
Couple
matter.
seconds.
Yeah.
Couple
As
seconds.
much as you want.
Send
Tell
it
a
off.
story.
One time we went to Macca's drive-through and I ordered a chips, and then Otis wanted a small chips. So I go, can I also get an extra small chips?
And I just started laughing because this person goes, like, we only have
We don't make
small.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
And he's like, no, can I get an extra small chips?
It was fucked up. There was also this one time where, oh fuck, I can't remember what the name of the thing was. It was like the tropical punch sundae or something. I said the wrong thing really badly.
He said the catchphrase, he said, can I get the tropical juicy McFlurry? And the guy goes, you mean the mango one? And he had just read the branding of it or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Can I get the juicy quarter pounder with the pickles and whatever it is? Yeah, anyway.
Clifton Hill Macca's. If you want to find either me or Otis, it's there.
I'm also there.
We can talk about hardcore. We could get some fries.
I've I ran a long game gag for many years with touring with American bands, saying, "Oh, that's the first McDonald's in Australia," and they'll all be like, "Holy shit!" And like, it's true.
Just like Lone Pine, we've created that as Melbourne's thing.
Yeah, Lone Pines in Carlton.
Yeah.
Get a photo with
Yeah.
the old Maccas.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Akira, for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Kira, for having us, for joining us on the show.
He's really in his co-hosting
Fuck,
era
man, yeah.
now.
Shit. All right, I'll get it by the next one.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for co-hosting this with me.
Thanks for having me. I hope Solo's having a great time.
Yeah, check out, if you live in Edinburgh and you're listening to this, go watch Ben Searle do stand-up comedy at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Otherwise, he'll be back here soon and we'll talk to him then. So all the best to him. And I will post something about this fucking voicemail thing that I completely forgot to look up beforehand. So maybe I'll put it in the show notes. I don't know if anyone reads them, but I'll post about it on Instagram. Otherwise, thanks for coming, fellas.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.